All right. I'm going to do a reading for the water signs for this Pisces new moon, which is happening about right now. So I'm tuned into this. I did a pre-shuffle. Then I walked the dog, ate dinner. Now I'm back. So it's an underlying theme I'm picking up here. One that I can relate to as being a Scorpio ascendant. But what we gotta remember in life is that we're not a static, we're always progressing. So look at your progress chart as well. Maybe check the readings out for whatever your progressions are, whether that be your sun, moon, or rising. But this is for the water signs. Rising, sun, moon, or any placements you have that are calling to you. Now, words can only infer. The meaning is what you pick up through the symbology of your experiences in this world. So take it as it resonates. And it's geared for this Pisces full moon, but whenever you find it, if you feel called to watch it, and it resonates, then it's for you. Alright, so I'm going to do a 9-card spread with the Woodward Tarot. Then I'm going to do a bottom card and a cut card to give more information. I'm going to do a tarot reading, and then I'm going to follow it up with an astrological analysis for the water signs, focused on Pisces, and then reaching into Cancer, and then reaching into Scorpio. So the emphasis will be on Pisces, but all information is fluid, and it's about dynamics. So I would recommend watching the whole thing. All right, I'm going to begin now. Let's do one more shuffle. All right. I'm going to lay the cards down first, get a feel, and then we'll break it down. Now, I'm learning the tarot, but I do utilize my intuition, and I speak of the energies that I feel called to. All right, so right off the bat, first card out. I get this card a lot. This is, why is it reversed? What the heck? Hold on a second. Tools. View. Where's the preferences? Keel. It's got to be in here. See, look at that. It's like you can't see it, but see here, it's like right. But when I don't put it there, it's messed up. Oh well. Maybe it's this. No, it's not that. Definitely it isn't that. All right. If you made it this far, you're awesome. If you make it past this, you're even more awesome. No, real. Sorry, boy. Maybe it fixed it somehow. Nope. All right. Well, it's the Knight of Arrows, the hawk. So first thing that comes to me here is there's a hawk high up, the clouds behind him or her. Down below is the valley and a river, the emotions. Now the imagination, it comes from and feeds back into that river as the natural processes of life. So with the Pisces full moon, we are starting to pull in some condensation. We're starting to understand the river of our life through our imagination and the things which have bound us to false beliefs, the things which have bound us through our emotional attachments. And the emotional attachments are generally based off past experiences. And now we can see where everything that's happened to us has brought us to this point. And the natural expression of our being, the tree of our life, is holding our perceptions. We're starting to become aware that we can dive deep or we can fly up high. And it's about understanding and accepting the value of our experiences so that we can understand the value of ourself and the reciprocity we carry off our wings as we soar through this life. Now that's leading us into this, the Three of Stones. This is the Three of Pentacles. And here it's creativity. It's a little more focused here. My camera isn't focusing. We got Mercury retrograde, people. Alright, so you can see here creativity, but she looks a little bit nervous to let go of what she has built, what she's known. You know, when you find yourself developing skills based off of foundations of the past, it's hard to let those things go and venture into the new, because we're not so sure we can create or cultivate that value in new things. But as you see, she's growing into the ground. Wherever she moves, she's related to all of existence. The creativity isn't what she's built, isn't just in what she's built, it's what she can create no matter where she goes. But it takes the courage and sometimes the understanding that we aren't who we thought we were. We're much more than that. And the magic is what we bring with us in the process. It's about realization. And it brings us to this Three of Bows here. Yeah, Three of Bows. Now that's fulfillment. Now you can see two rods here, two staffs. Now the bows is fire. It's wands essentially in this deck. Now you can see the caduceus, or the two snakes, the yin and the yang, the kundalini energy. Now the Three of Bows, it's a creative expression through the passion which you've been cultivating in life. You hold that bow waiting to shoot the arrow at something meaningful. And it appears here that they shot the arrow into the dark long ago, and they're starting to track where it went. And they're using intuition. The eyes are covered. Just a subtle knowing based off of the cultivation of the spirit, which comes through experiences. A lot of that is facing our emotional hang-ups and allowing a natural expression to unfold through our relationships, through life, through an understanding of ourself. Now this is leading us to the Seven of Bows. Now in this deck it's called clearance. And the standard Rider-Waite, there's a man holding a staff above 6 other staffs. So this is the obtainment, and this is what one card I had in the pre-shuffle. And it is the struggle, it is the work, it is the effort, it is the challenges. We get used to fighting and striving for the things that we value, the things we're trying to create, just to be who we are in this world a lot of times. That we forget the victories we've already had. We forget where we can go with it because we're tuned into the resonance of our relations and the dynamics of the past. But as you become more aware of yourself, resonance to the world around you changes, and you start to see it subtly in your local environment, within your thought processes, and within your relational dynamics. A lot of people, they can't handle the change, so they'll fight to try and keep us as we were. And it's usually because their ego is afraid But as we change and we show them that it's okay for change to occur, then we teach them, we enable them to be more in their power as well, whether it be friend or foe. So it's a natural progression here. We've got 3, 3, and then 7. Now we're up to the Queen of Queen of Vessels. And this is the Salmon. So it is about the cultivation of life through the struggles of your emotions and understanding the rhythms that we develop through the process to be who we are today. We may not be complete, we may not feel loving or complete, but we know that everything we've gone through has cultivated us and it's refined our awareness. We know where the flows are hard and where the flows are easy, and we learn how to jump, when to jump, and what the reason for it is. The destination is very important, but the process is acceptance, and it starts within ourselves, finding the love within to express that in the world without. It's a natural nurturing of our expression in life. Our nature becomes the nurture, and the nurture becomes our nature, and awareness grows through the process. That leads us to the 10 of Stones. This is the 10 of Pentacles. And this was the Queen of Cups, by the way. So the Queen of Cups is swimming up to the 10 of Stones. That's the happy home. Essentially, it is all that you require in life to be your best physically. A lot of times it's a reflection of where we are within ourselves. In this world, however, we get hung up in the ego games and the constraints of the external world. We think fast cars, nice houses, jewelry, all these other things, these adornments, we think that they're value. But really it's the work we put in that's the value. And sometimes we don't realize it till we lose it, so that we can build something that lasts. A true foundation which honors the spirit of the human heritage. And that's why the salmon swims upstream, you know. It is for the heritage of life, essentially. And in that process, the cultivation of spirit. And here you could see a man and a woman at the gateway here, unifying the aspects of ourself. And this really speaks to the astrology. We'll get into it afterwards. Now, as we start to settle in on the destination, as we start to become aware of where we're going, what we're cultivating, what we've struggled for, we start to become aware of the options. This is the 7 of Vessels in the morning. So we don't want to lose out on opportunities. We don't want to make the wrong choices, because in the past we've done that. But the thing is, in the past we are tied to old processes, old dynamics, old relations to ourselves, which fed into the relations with others. And every mistake we make has a purpose. The key is in the cultivation of finding what that is through releasing what you thought you knew. Having the emotional understanding that you are cultivating your awareness in life through release. And when you find that you're settled into something that's nurturing yourself and what you strive for in life, what you've been cultivating your entire life, why you've been swimming upstream, the choices become more beneficial. The mistakes become more wise. And you become more calm in the process of seeing opportunities and choosing. No matter what choice we make, it leads us to passion. This is the Ace of Bows, the spark of life. When you follow what nurtures your spirit, what feeds your spirit, you never make a wrong mistake. You never make a wrong choice. Any mistakes become learning opportunities. The book doesn't end after you write a bad page. You know, the story continues. And ignorance is utilized so that we can gain wisdom. And if you look back at past mistakes, past choices, then you can realize the value of following your true spirit. What's the spark of your life? The spark of the life leads to the page of vessels here, which is the page of cups. So this looks to be an otter here, dipping their tail in the river, testing the currents, the flows, to see how can they navigate this river. And what the otter knows instinctually, we all know this, is that when you follow that which is authentic, which honors you, which is reciprocal to you, 50-50 with this world, with others, you always find the right flows. And that leads to the bottom of the deck here. 6 of arrows, and it's a transition, it says. So you can see this hooded figure, looks like this one, with the Kundalini insignia, standing here on a swan boat. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 arrows. But if you look at the 6 arrows and you connect the polarities, it's a 3, which is creativity. In the background, you see the moon hovering over this mound of earth and stone. The creations of your past, what you've created through the process of your life, all the good and bad experiences, the strengths you've developed, the weaknesses you've hid. You're embracing all of that and taking a chance to voyage into the unknown, because you know that's where your destination lies. That's where the 3 of bows is bringing you. So having confidence in that, making the hard choices, as long as it's in resonance with your true spirit and nourishes you, you never make a mistake. And that leads to the cut card, which is the green man here. The green man represents the emperor in the standard Rider-Waite. Now here it looks like he's been concocting some fancy soup. Rio, come on. All right, so he's holding this horn. It's like he's feeding the horn this soup. And the horn could represent the spirit of your life. As the wind travels through this expression you're bringing into this world, you hold this staff, this spark of life in your hand, this arrow. And that's what you're stirring, the alchemy of your experiences in this emotion. Now the emotions here in this bowl, mixed with the passion, create magic. And that's what the emperor can bring to this world. When they're in alignment with their true self, they're not stepping on anyone, they're not trying to take from anyone. They know their power, they know their value, and they're reciprocal with it. And it's the cultivation. You don't have to have a sense of understanding it or know everything to do. You just know that if you are in balance with yourself, if you seek reciprocity with the self, you will give that to others. You cannot pour from an empty vessel. So, hold on 1 second. I got to let this cat out. All right, what the heck's the problem? Here you go. There you go. Aren't you going to go over there or what? All right. You want to stand there? Fake mug the camera for me. All right, so let's get to the astrology real quick. Now, the astrology here is for the water signs. Let me see if I can make this a little bigger. There we go. Now I just have it set for the full moon that was in Pisces about 34 minutes ago. No, 36 minutes ago. My math's off. So this was geared for where I'm at, but wherever you look, wherever you're at, you can look at the rising sign, get an idea for the dynamics of your epigenetics, which is your location, basically. But we're going to break this down, starting with Pisces, and then we'll jump into Cancer, and then we'll jump into Scorpio. They all link. It's all water. This is an elemental reading in an astrological analysis for the water. But as you know, there is nothing that is an island unto itself. It's all dynamic in resonance. So this full moon, when the sun's opposing the moon, what do we notice right away? We've got Saturn here coming into a balsamic phase, a closing phase conjunction with the moon, if you look at it as a static. So it's the understanding of your emotional authority in relation to your divine will, your ego constructs. How does it measure up? Have you been holding yourself back because you've been defensive in the resonance of old dynamics, old beliefs? If we look here, we've got the moon in a opening quincunx in conjunction with Juno, which is coming into conjunction with a stationed Venus retrograde. Venus will station retrograde here in a few days and start moving direct conjunct with Juno. Venus will be on the shadow path. But it is the alchemical wedding. Sometimes it's with ourselves through the world, sometimes it's with ourselves through another. Based off this reading, it is a little bit of both, I'm guessing. It just depends on where your perspective is, where your objective is, what your goal is, what your dream has been, what has been calling you. Where have you been manifesting or creating subconsciously or consciously? So Saturn here coming into a balsamic phase conjunction, it's the closing of a cycle and it's an understanding. It is, sometimes it's tests, but the tests are there to make us realize there are expressions in the world around us, and the people around us, the authorities around us, to make us acknowledge and honor our emotional understanding, our emotional trials, tribulations. So this cultivation is bringing an awareness of the repression of our anima, the feminine repression, with Black Moon Lilith here coming into a balsamic phase conjunction with the sun. So where we've repressed ourselves in favor of others, where we've held back, held our tongue, where we've served others because we couldn't accept our own value, we're starting to realize what that is. And it's coming through our emotions. And the emotions, like this, in this pot, they're boiling with the passion. The passion is the repression of what we've sacrificed for others, what we've sacrificed in relation to others in this world because we sacrificed the relation to ourself for constructs in relation to our dynamics. I keep saying relation. All right, so this brings us into the nodal axis here right now in the cardinal signs. Aries with the north node and Libra with the south node. Since we're on to Venus here, let's look at the south node first. So, south node in Libra. We're doing relationships differently. And the relationships, all relationships are a reflection of where we are within ourselves. When we're open to challenge ourselves in new experiences and with new people and new dynamics, when we're willing to break away from the foundations of what has felt safe to us, we grow, we expand. That's what, working out, you realize that when you push yourself, you get stronger, you get healthier, all that stuff. When you are young and you go to school and you're you're scared, basically you got this anxiety, but the more you do it, the less anxious you become. So we're starting to understand that we don't got to do relationships the way we've always done it, because we're becoming aware of the value of ourselves, what we've repressed that we loved in this world. how we've compromised, and now we can speak our truth in a more authentic way. Even if we don't have the words, it's through our actions, through our being. So we have Ceres here, and she's coming into a balsamic phase conjunction with the South Node. So there are gifts when you put yourself in relational dynamics which you are unsure of the outcomes. You will gain clarity, you will gain understanding, you will harvest a new awareness of yourself. The shadow is here for us to learn through. Libra is the spirit of Scorpio, essentially. So it is through what we face in Libra that we can bring into this existence in Scorpio. Now let's look at the North Node ruler here with Mars. Mars just crossed over the Libra point. Now Mars is very reserved in Libra because it respects the war, it respects the battle, it's been through the trenches, it understands what sacrifice is, it understands compromise, loss, gain, and it knows how to find reciprocity within oneself. And if others can't handle that, that's their problem, that's on them. So we're in the Saturnian decan here. This is a Ptolemy breakdown of the decans, so there's many more planets ruling these varying degrees. But it's a Saturnian decan, and it's quincunx in an opening in conjunction with Saturn here in the Venusian decan degrees of Pisces. So we've got this compromise and learning our own power and value, what we've cultivated through all the emotional turmoil and why we're taking the voyage. Overcoming the devil, overcoming the obsessions, overcoming the emotional loops, the blocks, to find reciprocity. And it's the cultivation of what we do in our life and the actions that we take that bring that to life, that spirit to form. So Mars here is climbing through Libra and will come into contact with the South Node eventually. And what we do from here on out brings us to that point. So it's realization, and it's in the process of life. You got to put yourself in relational dynamics to the world, to others, to understand where you are within yourself sometimes. I can certainly relate with that. Now we've got Uranus here, trining Mercury retrograde and Pallas Athena. Now Pallas Athena is in a new phase conjunction with Mercury, though Mercury's in retrograde, so we're understanding higher truths about our experiences and our thought processes. We may not understand it, but we've got subtle insights. Epiphanies may be coming to us in the form of internal thoughts, senses, feelings, or through other people, or through synchronicities, the symbology of life. Now, Uranus just went retrograde last night, stationed a few days ago. I could feel the shift. So that's the Promethean process. Whenever Uranus is aspecting Mercury, Mercury is Hermes Trismegistus, the messenger of the gods, but when activated by Uranus in the Saturnian decan here, or degrees, that is bringing spirit to form, because Uranus is what informs Saturn of change. And Saturn is the taskmaster within where Mercury's powers come to life, because Father formed time. Time is form. We are time in motion, essentially, if you study Taoism. So Mercury is also in the Saturnian decan here. And Mercury is very strong in Virgo. You know, Mercury rules Virgo and Gemini. So it's bringing the metaphysics into the mundane. And right now we're digesting through experiences, through people, through our past, what we've gained, what clarity we've cultivated, and where we're swimming in life. maybe why we're swimming. And so Prometheus, Uranus here, is in a reaching trine with Pluto. They're both retrograde. And Pluto is in the tradition, it's in Capricorn, it's in the society, it's in the structures, it's in the hierarchy, it's in the authority of what has been. And that could be the reason for the fear, for the trepidation, for holding on to that which we have created, because it is known. And it's natural. We've put so much effort and attention into what that is, that structure, that foundation, into those modes of creating and being in this world, that it's hard to let it go. But when you let that go, Pluto brings gifts of the ancestors to us. If you're brave enough to follow your desire, then you will be rewarded. And if you are unsure of your outcomes, but you follow your desire anyway, Mercury and Pallas Athena here can help you to make your decisions wise. Just assess what's the least damaging outcome. If you can't look at the bright side, try and create the bright side and the negative side and move from there. Incremental. So we've got that trine also with Pluto and Mars. It's an out of sign trine in 2 cardinal signs. So it is bringing the passion through the Libra point, through existence, the polarity of the Alpha Omega. Knowing that our relations to ourself reflect in the people that we connect with. And if they don't resonate with us, they will show us that, and we have the power and the passion to push through that and make wise decisions for ourselves. The world's given us these reasons now, has been for a while, and our past dynamics are as well. Now we've got Neptune, the ruler of Pisces in this full moon, sextiling Uranus and opposing, just came out of opposition with Mars, which we have been digesting the past week or two. But it's opposing this Pallas Athena. So the illusions, the delusions, how is your imagination enriching or holding back the flow of your emotions? Try and find the way to move towards a creative expression in life which nourishes you and enriches you. Now we've got Chiron here in a perfect transformative closing quincunx in conjunction with Mercury over here. So it's the wounded mind we're dealing with, and it's through relationships that we can find the salve, that we can heal it. We've been there, we've done it. The experience is not for nothing. It is not for lack of living or trying. It is now enrichment. It is knowing some things were fallacy. And that's okay, because we're moving forward. And we can rewrite the story in the preceding pages of the book of our lives. So we're healing the wounded mind, and we're figuring out what service to self can do in relation to this world and others. I put Apollon here in Scorpio. Apollon is higher wisdom. It is understanding the pain and knowing what the gain can be. It is an understanding of potential and how you can harness that by throwing the void, or throwing a harpoon into the void of existence through your action. But you just got to get in tune with who you are and what drives you, what nourishes you. Where's the spring of your existence? So with Scorpio, we've got all this sextile energy. Or actually, let's look at Cancer real quick. We've got the sextile energy. It's a reaching sextile. So challenging our what we feel to be safe and secure, what has nourished us in the past, how that has held us back. How do you find a flow which brings you into the service of the self in the most optimal way that respects and honors this changing intuitive understanding of your feelings in relation to the constrictions of emotional loops, and how you can bring that into existence through just flowing into what feels right. We've also got this change energy in Taurus, and we've got Jupiter, which I haven't spoke of because there's really not many aspects. But we can see Hygeia is squaring Jupiter. So when you put your action, your energy, your body into form towards something which nourishes your emotional sense of fulfillment, makes you feel whole and complete, makes you feel safe within yourself to express yourself, then you can reach here with the optimal expression into Virgo. You can really bring the service to the self to life. And that reciprocates into the world around you. Now with Pluto opposing here, it is following the desire, even though it might be frightful, even though it might challenge your emotional blocks, the things which you have pushed away, shunned, where your boundaries are. You don't have to take them all down, you just have to be more strategic with it. If you do that, you tap into the gifts of Pluto. Now the square of the South Node, to do what you have done in the past differently is assured success. Especially when you're honoring yourself here, your own individual unique expression. As I said before, making your mistakes wise, knowing that you've gone through a lot of things, and every day is a cultivation. And Cancer is feeding in the spirit to Leo here. So you are informing your Venusian energies by following what feels right emotionally, what nurtures your emotional expression. So the feelings are key. And we can tap into that here with this Neptune-Saturn. It's trining the Cancer energies. And it's trining this Apollon as well. So deeper wisdom is rising within us through acknowledging where we've held ourselves back, where we've compromised, and moving forward with our best intention at heart, knowing we're not trying to take from others in the process. And if we are taking from others, is it for their best good? If you're staying in something that is not authentic to you, then it's not authentic to anyone. So the best thing you can do sometimes is harsh medicine. All right, now Scorpio. I'm Scorpio ascendant. And I got Apollon on my ascendant right now, conjunct my AC. So we've got this square with Juno. And we've got this trine with Saturn and the full moon. We've got this sextile with the Sun from Scorpio. We've got a sextile with Pluto. So when you go deep, when you dive deep into your own emotional wells, the best way to do it is through feeling into what honors you. Feeling into that you are not your experiences, you are the process, the cultivation, and you change as time flows. The river of life, it might move slower when you go way down deep, but it still moves, and you can go up and down. You can swim to the bottom, or you can swim up after you've got the message, after you've transmuted what is holding you down. Sometimes we got to release old things so that we can float up and catch these flows. And with the South Node having passed through Scorpio, we've been doing that the past 2 years, understanding what that is through the beliefs and through the reasons for the beliefs, and now through applying what we've learned through this transformative process in relation to ourselves, reciprocating it into this world. And Jupiter is opposing Scorpio, as is Uranus. So you open up opportunity for expansion when you release things and when you flow up towards a higher expression of yourself. knowing that you're transforming yourself and others in the process. All right, well, I hope this was informative for you. And if you want a personal reading, just go to my website and schedule something. But thanks for watching, listening, and being.